Hey everyone, welcome to the video. Here is MLB main slate for the DraftKings. Before we continue though, if you could leave a like, subscribe to the channel, I really appreciate that. Also follow me on Twitter at cpen_16, that's with 2 N's. And if you want access to this cheat sheet, pitching model with projections, hitting model, all this with all the stats you're going to need, and it's by position as well. Just follow me on Twitter, shoot me a DM, and I'll send you the link to it, and then you'll have access to that every day. It's what I use to put together my cheat sheet, all the stats together, and just everything in one place that you'll need. And also, if you're gonna be playing MMA this weekend, the MMA video is out. There wasn't MMA last week because they just didn't have it, but back at it again this week. I believe it's tomorrow, probably around 5 or 6 if I had to guess. And then also NASCAR is probably gonna be out tomorrow, so just things to be on the lookout for. Alright, anyway, so SP1 today for me is going to be Trevor Bauer. Oh, disclaimer, I do like more than 3 people at each position. There is 30 teams playing tonight, so that means there's going to be 30 first basemen, and I do like more than just 3. So I'm just trying to handpick 3, just to make it simple. I don't want to list 500 players for you guys. Alright, so anyway, back into the pitcher. Trevor Bauer, 9,200. His recent form is not very good. I mean, he did have 18 points last time out, but other than that, he's been a little unlike Trevor Bauer. Usually he's, lockdown elite pitcher, but has been struggling, but I do think, he still has elite stuff, and I'm willing to take a shot here at this price tag versus the White Sox, who strike out a lot. I think this can either end 2 ways, like it did for Carrasco last night, not very good, or he's going to shut this lineup down, and I'm willing to bet he can shut this lineup down, maybe even get double-digit Ks and have just a really good game. And the Indians let him pitch like 120 pitches per game, which is most in the league, so we have a nice long leash to work with. So, 6-7 innings is pretty much a lock for Trevor Bauer unless he gets absolutely shelled. Then we also have Chris Sale, 10,800. He just has insane upside, and he could always break the slate with the 15K performance. Tough matchup versus the Yankees, but the same could be said for the Yankees as well, facing Chris Sale. So, definitely like Chris Sale if you can afford him. And there are some other good mid-range options, like Zach Wheeler's fine. Maybe even Fulte versus the Tigers. He looked good last game out, but it's still a little risky. But there are some other pitchers I do like. And then if you need a punt, Jules Chassin, 5,300. I know he's not a good pitcher, but this price is very, very low for a starter. And I don't think he's any good, but he's better than 5,300. He's at least 6,500 good probably. So we're getting a nice discount here. We don't need much at all to hit value versus Pitt. We really just need like 5 innings of work, a couple strikeouts, and like at least just 2 or 3 runs given up, and he's going to be fine. And I do think the Brewers will get him the win, too, as well, as long as he can go 5 innings. And then catcher, we have Buster Posey, 3,300. So Cashner switched this year, where he's worse versus righties, and Posey gets an upgrade hitting at Camden Yards, and he's still priced like he's kind of in San Francisco. So, I do like the price for him in some of these Giants bets. And then Chris Iannetta, 4,300. The Rockies have an implied run total of 7.3 tonight, which is insanely high, so I don't mind any of the Rockies tonight. It's just a matter if you can afford them. And then if not, just punt the position with either d'Arnaud, Jansen, Maldonado, those guys. And at first base, we have Daniel Murphy at 4,800. Jackson is just not good, and he's been actually worse versus righties, but lefties can still hit him, and it's in Coors Field, so I don't mind him at all. And then Steve Pearce, 2,900. So I had him on here yesterday, but the game got rained out. And now his price went down, so I signed me up for some Steve Pearce tonight. He has 6 career homers versus Happ, so he sees the ball well from him, and definitely like him a lot. And then Carlos Santana, 5,200. So the Indians are in another great spot tonight, and ownership will be a lot lower after scoring 4 runs last night, and it's a 15-game slate, so I can't imagine they'll be that highly owned, and their prices went up. But it's another good spot for them, so definitely. Versus Dylan Covey. And second base, Jason Kipnis, 3,400. This could be the Indian I see that has the most exposure tonight. Just so cheap and usually hits second versus righties. And it's going to be Dylan Covey, and he's just not a good pitcher, and both sides of the plate are in play here. And Hanser Alberto, 3,900. I love him versus lefties, where he's usually leading off, and he's been great versus them with a 400 WOBA this year. And then Joe Panik, 3,800. Cheap leading off versus Cashner. I know he's a lefty, but he doesn't need much for value there. And then that bullpen's pretty bad as well. And then Nolan Arenado at third base, 5,900. He's almost 6K, but the Rockies have an insane implied run total tonight versus Jackson, who's been getting crushed by righties. You might see that price tag and think there's no way he can make value, but if he gets 2 home runs or even like 4 hits or 3 hits, and one's a home run and a couple of them are doubles, he's going to smash value anyway. So as long as your pump plays work out, you should be fine. And then Alex Bregman, 4,400. Good price for this guy. I mean, he's got double dunk upside. He kind of has Arenado upside, but he's just in a bad stadium. But it's a good matchup versus reverse split Sapphires. And then Jose Ramirez, 4,100. He's an affordable Indian. He didn't get much of a price boost. And we're just going to try them again tonight. And then shortstop Trevor Story, 5,800. Same reasons as Arenado. He's always got the same. He's pretty much the same player, just not as good, but definitely love Trevor Story. And he's got that speed upside as well. And then Frankie Lindor, 5,200. So these guys that for the Indians that are switch hitters, which is pretty much the whole top half of the lineup, except for a couple guys, they hit better from the left side of the plate. So I do think it's a better matchup than yesterday. But they did disappoint yesterday. But definitely like Frankie Lindor. If you're stacking up the Indians, can't leave him off. Then Manny Machado, 3,700. I know he hasn't lived up to expectations this year, but he does have a massive 581 ISO so far versus lefties this year. And Smith is allowing a lot of hard contact to righties as well. Then the high-priced outfield. So he gave these guys their own tier tonight just because they're on a whole other level. That's going to be Trout, Yelich, Bellinger. And like I said, the price is a lot. I think the 5,700 and up. And these guys get their own tier, like I said, all in great spots. And obviously, if you can afford them, they are all great plays. And then Juan Soto, 5,600. I can't see a lot of people going here at all, but it's a great matchup versus a pitcher who struggles with lefties, and he's in Great American Ballpark. And then Jock Peterson, 5,300. Just the light version of Cody Bellinger, and he crushes righties, and Arrieta struggles with lefties. Then in the mid-range outfield, we have the Coors outfield. I listed a lot of these as just the team outfield because they're all in good spots, and I wanted some more space to work with. So Tapia and Dahl, both in great spots tonight, and they're lower priced than Story and Arenado, making them easier to fit, and I definitely like David Dahl the best. And then Red Sox outfield, not Benintendi, but JD and Mookie. Both get their prices bumped down from yesterday, and because they're excellent plays still, it's the same matchup. So especially JD versus lefty, he's only 4,700, so I definitely like that a lot. And then Trey Mancini, 4,600. Love the matchup versus a not so good lefty in Pomeranz, and it's a great part for hitting as well. And then the value outfield, Michael Brantley, 4,100. Couldn't not list him versus a righty, and he's pretty cheap as well. And Chris Owings, 2,500, just so cheap in Texas versus a bad pitcher. See, there's so many options I like, and I only have 3. I only use 3 in each position, but I do love this Texas game. I don't have anyone listed, but these Royals are pretty not underpriced, but some of them are decently priced. And then Kristen Stewart, 3,300, cheap versus Volte, same with Goodrum. And Steve Pearce, already went over him. And Shohei Ohtani, just cheap lefty power versus Leak. And if we go to some of the core plays here, we have Trevor Bauer at 9,200. Trevor Story, 5,800. I really like, if you're going to be spending up for cores, I really like getting him in over Arenado because I do think there's just better salary options over him. And then shortstop, I think it's a little thinner position. And Trevor Story has really hit righties, has hit righties well this year, better than Arenado has. So if I'm going to side with one, I'm going to go with Trevor Story. And plus we get that power speed combo. And then David Dahl, 4,700. I definitely like him. And then weather looks pretty good today. And the top stacks for me are going to be the Rockies, the Indians, the Red Sox, the Brewers lefties, the Dodgers lefties, and then the Texas game. If you can fit that in. It's kind of high priced, and I'd rather go with some other spots, but that could just mean their ownership's lower. But anyway, guys, that's all I have for the video. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. Remember to leave a like, subscribe to the channel. Really appreciate that. And yeah, if you're playing UFC, I'd recommend checking out the UFC video. And good luck today.